Hello and you're all very welcome along to the latest Champ.ie podcast, Ireland's premier horse racing podcast in association with Boylesports, Gowran Park Racecourse, EJ Menswear and Shamrock Thoroughbreds.
It is our Connor and Bryan Cooper. They've gone clear by 10 lengths. The danger now is in front. The eighth and final flight. He is over safely. Our Connor is clear and away.
Don Cossack is 4 lengths clear as they race on up the hill in the Tamiko Cheltenham Gold Cup. And Don Cossack for Jigginstown and Gordon Elliott and Bryan Cooper will win the Tamiko Cheltenham Gold Cup of 2016.
If you haven't already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Champ.ie YouTube channel, as it helps to get horse racing content out there to the wider audience. Barry and Brian look forward to discussing your latest hashtag Cheltenham Ante-Post selections in the comment section below. We're on the road to Cheltenham again.
Boylesports. Don't just bet, choose wisely.
Yes, we're on the road to Cheltenham again, and of course it is episode number 4, 100 days, Brian, to the Cheltenham Festival. Lots to discuss, as mentioned, as there always is. I've given you the top 3 here because obviously the Donnellys have plenty of bullets to fire now, it looks like, in the Champion Hurdle Division this season. Sergino, Anzadam and Croke Park, since as the Gigginstown representative on the podcast, we give you Croke Park as well. The jukebox man, Regent, Stroll and Lossiemouth as well. She was absolutely out of this world. She's the real deal. We'll discuss her shortly. But Sergino, Brian, kick us off. 4 stars. Why have you not given him a 5?
The form, it's hard to weigh up. If he's going to be a champion hurdle horse and be a live competitor for it, he had to do what he did. That, like, the second horse is basically a handicapper. He was, I think, 14 lengths behind Mystical Power last year in Aintree. So I didn't see any more than what I think we should have saw. Listen to Nicky Henderson, I think he's dying to go chasing with him. He said he's as good as horse he's seen to jump a fence. So I think we'll, as we've seen, like, a lot can happen between now and Christmas. I won't be surprised if he turns up in a novice chase in December. I can't see Joe having 3 champion hurdle horses and no Arkle horse if he has got a genuine Arkle contender. So look, it was good. It was a good performance. He's got a massive engine, but I'm probably still left none the wiser of where he's at, really, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought, Brian, going into the race that he would take quite a bit of whacking. And look, Mystical Power, I've made no secret about it, was the supreme novice hurdle form of the novice 2-mile division from last season. I'm just a little bit unsure about it. I'm not sure how the form is working out. Tread with caution, because the 135 rated Cahava was on the premises 2 out. So obviously he was keen early. He cruised up, but he needed 3 backhanders as well, didn't he, to stretch out off the back of the last? Yeah,
well, I wouldn't mind, like, a lot of Nickies, they tend, I think, I had this conversation with some, they're grinders, they always seem to pick up from the back of the last. They don't go around hard on the bridle, but they keep lengthening. To me, he's a horse I'd say could get further in time, and I think he'll be better over a fence. I'd like to see him go chasing. I don't know if he's a jet. Like, put it this way, I think if Lossiemouth showed up in the fighting 5th, she would have made mincemeat of the whole lot of them. So that's where I'm at on that at the minute. But I do, if he lined up for an novice chase, it'll be something I'd look forward to, because I think listening to Nicky Henderson is very interesting. He's obviously put in some spectacular schooling sessions before they reverted back. So no, look, it was a good performance, and that's why I didn't give him the full 5.
Yeah, look, we'll come to Lossiemouth in a couple of moments' time. Spoiler alert, if I could have given her 6 stars, we can only go to 5 here, Brian, but if I could have given her 6, I would. Anzadam for the Donnellys as well. It's rare that you hear Paul Townend after a race kind of talk with the same positivity about a horse, and Willie Mullins as well. Potential superstar, I think Willie said.
Yeah, he was very, very impressive. From what I had heard beforehand, he was quite hard on himself at home, was very keen. He was not 5 to do, if I'd say they were unsure of what was going to happen when he went to the races, and I think Willie said that as well. He was 2 from 2 in France, was very impressive on his second run in Copenhagen, I think it was. But look, he's a massive engine. I think his sectionals from the back of the last of the line were off the charts. Paul went nearly down to Ballyhack by the time he got him pulled up. Probably the mistake at the last, he was clever. He galloped out through it. We'll need to sharpen up that. But I'd say we won't see him in real big waters until he really has to. I think Willie said he might aim it for the international hurdle. I think there's another 4-year-old around hurdle in Limerick at Christmas. So I'd say he'll campaign him wisely. But they've made no hiding secret of how good they think he is. He's by authorised. He showed a lot of speed. But I'd say, again, it's hard to weigh up of, will he win a champion hurdle? Because I think what we're seeing at the minute in this division is quite special, and you'll have to be very special to take your chance in it.
Really look forward to discussing the whole picture as well in later on in the show, of course. But I suppose, look, sticking with the champion hurdle division, look, we'll get on with, I suppose, the ratings, the performance itself of Lossiemouth, because I'm going to get your input on this as well. I suppose, Emma, if you're listening, close your ears, because there's a new woman in my life. Lossiemouth, what a performance. I mean, I know it was a 4-runner race, Brian. I know they went steady enough early on, but I thought there was lots of reasons for her maybe not to deliver, given the team tactics. Obviously 3 Elliott runners in the race. Obviously the 164 rated Teahupoo as well, in there, going for, in his back garden, by the way, and she's absolutely ate him alive here. From a Gordon Elliott perspective, I don't know, did you notice Jordan Gainford on the outside on Maxim, basically leaning into her for the first 2 miles? She was very, very keen early. She was keen. She was fresh. There's no doubt about it, but she jumped brilliantly. The 4th last, she met in there, and I said, oh, here we go now. You know, if she comes back from this, she got back on an even keel. I think Paul said she took a blow after it. And to me, it was what she done. The way she cruised up between the second last and the last, the way she's attacked the last like a champion hurdler and gone away to beat the 164 rated Teahupoo. She's just very, very special, I think. And race trip ground, I think I said it on Twitter, Constitution Hill or no Constitution Hill, getting £7. I don't think they'll lay a glove on her. Genuinely.
No. Yeah, I think you're right. It was a fantastic performance. Tactically, they were always going to try to do something. I thought they'd go quicker. Like the sections earlier on, like they're only doing 27, 28 mile an hour for the first mile and a half until they kind of got down by Ballyhack. So I expect them to go a bit quicker than they did, especially because Teahupoo wants a lot further. I think Paul wants to kind of be behind Jordan the whole way, but she was jumping so well early doors. She kept landing up there, and great bit of riding by Paul. I know it's just, he wanted to get her into the butt of that hurdle on purpose, just to get her to relax and give herself a chance. And it was great.
He said that afterwards, didn't he, Brian, in the interview? He said that.
I could see what he was doing about 5 strides away before. He wasn't looking for a long one. He got her back in her hocks, and he said, right, come here now, you're going to have to pop this. She got in, she hit it a good thump, but she spat it out after, and she raced. She started breathing a bit better. So no, look, but I don't think it would have mattered anyway. If she winged that, he would have just landed her there a bit sooner than he did. She's gears. She's unbelievable to jump. See her down to the last, as Paul said. She had it spotted 5 strides away, and she was like a cat. Look, Teahupoo probably maybe underperformed a little bit because the ground was probably as dry as he wanted it. And wants an extra half a mile. But this mare would have beat whatever was thrown in front of her yesterday. And I really hope she goes down the champion hurdle route, because it'll be some hell of a race if she gets there. I think she'll be better over 2 miles in a stronger run race. She relax. She's 3 from 3 around Cheltenham, and I think if she gets there in March, getting the £7, she could be 4 from 4.
I don't know what was a more sexy performance, Lossiemouth at Fairyhouse or Margot Robbie, and we're not going to be friends, but I tell you one thing, or Archibald back in Kempton, just the way she travelled from the second last to the last, and as you said, spotted that stride as well. 6 stars if we could, Brian, but we can only go to 5. It was you could definitely mark it up. Look, I suppose we'll come to Croke Park. Let's switch to the chasers here at Fairyhouse for a moment. Very steadily run race. You've given him 4 stars, Brian. I was surprised you went that high.
I thought he was good. The man on his back, I think, deserves the stars more than the horse. I thought that's the reason he won the race. He plucked out, plan A wasn't to make the running. He took matters into his own hands. You can go quick enough. Thought his riding from the bend up the straight was unbelievable. He invited Keith Donoghue to go down his inner, but didn't leave him enough room to get up there at the same time until the last. You know, Keith was kind of switching in, switching out. Sam, you know, as a jockey, I know you always give a little inch, but just not enough for them to go there. And that's what he did. He was inviting Keith to go there, but hadn't enough room to get up there until the back to the last. fired him at the last. He was long. He came up for him, and look, it's more the ride I was giving the 4 stars than the performance. But no, look, he's a good stayer. I think fences have definitely brought out a better side of him than hurdles did. He was an expensive pointer over 400,000, so he's starting to pay back that bill smallly. But
do you think, Brian? Here's a question for you: do you think there's another Grade 1 in him this season over fences?
Well, he's probably going to end up taking on Ballyburn next. So will he beat Ballyburn? I can't see that happening. I think Romeo Coolio needs to go back and trip. He looks an out-and-out 2-miler. He didn't seem to get the trip. It was a strange race. Like, Gorgeous Tom looked going nowhere, down to second last. The next thing, another 2 strides and he was up. But I think that's where you see good riders more so than, Sam Ewing stood up trumps there, and he won the race. Tactically, he was very good.
What did you make of Firefox, Brian, in the race?
Sorry, yeah, Firefox. Look, I don't think he got the trip. I think if he goes back to 2 miles, it'll suit him a bit better. He jumps exceptionally well, travels well, but I think he's more of a 2-miler than a 2.5-miler. Have we seen a Cheltenham or an Arkle winner there? I don't think so. And that's my view on it personally. But look, it was a great race to watch, and I think the further up and trip Croke Park goes, the better he'll be. The
jukebox man. I'm going to be critical here. A lot of people were absolutely raving about the jukebox man, but look, he was second in the Albert Bartlett last year, Brian. I've given him 3 stars here. He ballooned 3 of the first 6 fences. He's very, very exuberant over his fences. And for that reason, I just wonder, look, he was collared late on last year in the Albert Bartlett by Stellar Story. He was a stout stayer. And I just wonder, his 3 miles over fences, people are talking about Brown advisories. I wonder, would he be better over the intermediate trip? As I said, look, he was very, very exuberant. I wouldn't exactly call him economical now over fences. And the form as well. I mean, Johnny Hughes in the race, he obviously comes into the race with a 1 beside his name. But in terms of the weekend, he shaped to me like another day was the plan. Captain Teague's had wind issues, and Masaccio is a 131 rated hurdler who was closing and gave favourite backers a bit of a scare late on. So I'm not saying he's not a good horse. Of course he is, but the jukebox man, in terms of Grade 1s, people are talking about Brown advisory. I would just be holding fire for the moment. And over 3 miles, I'm not sure. I wonder, is he a better horse? Would he be a better horse over fences, given his style of jumping over 2.5? What do you think?
I'm actually going to go against you. I thought it was quite impressive, his jumping, especially up the straight. Yeah, he was a bit exuberant early doors, but he didn't make life easy for his jockey from the back to the last. He hung badly left, which I think gave the winning distance away, gave the 2 lengths back to Masaccio a little bit more, gave him more of a chance to come at him. He found it hard to get him out for the elbow. His jumping up the straight was electric. He put distance between his rivals. Yes, trip-wise, I agree. I don't know, does he get the full 3 mile? But I think he's going to be a better chaser than hurdler. And if he is, he doesn't have to improve a whole lot more. He's going to test higher waters. But if that's what the best of the British trained horses are over there, well, then they need to step it up a bit. But still, that he was just chinned in the Albert Bartlett. That's Cheltenham form, Grade 1 form. To me, I thought he jumped very well. He was very good up the straight. He came up out of Ben Jones's hands at the ditch, but landed the same distance the far side of it. He was getting lengths at his fences, and as a chaser, that's very valuable. And look, if he sticks to 2.5 miles at the minute, I think there could be a big pot in him.
Mr. Coops, I'm very, very keen to hear your thoughts on Regent Stroll, because, look, obviously, was it £600,000 he cost at the dispersal sale?
Yeah.
Obviously, from the family of Denman. I thought he jumped and galloped beautifully, and it was actually a truly enough run race. And to come down and make the mistake like he did at the second last, to pick up between 2 out and the last, and he jumped the last big. Look at the form of the second as well. The form of the second that ran a cracker in the entry bumper last season.
Yeah, third.
Yeah, like Horaker's Pearl has come out and absolutely hacked up this season. Tripoli Flyer, Valgrand obviously ran very well at Cheltenham on his first start. So the form actually looks quite strong, and he's absolutely bolted up by 9 lengths. I think this lad, I'm not saying he's worth 600k. I'm not sure if any gelding is, but certainly I think he's going to be a big player in terms of the British novices this season. Would you be afraid of him?
As the British novices go, he's probably up there at the best. As at the minute, it was a good performance. The second last probably was his only blunder, and just probably mixed communications between jockey and rider. But he found a leg and picked up from it. He's bred to stay further. Will he turn up in a Gallagher's, or will he go down for the Supreme Novice? Who knows? But he's to test higher waters. I'd imagine he'll go for the race in Newbury now. Is it the Shallow?
The Shallow, yeah. Paul Nichols has a good record in it.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably his next step in the waters. But yeah, it's a good performance. It's very hard. Yes, the second horse was third in the entry bumper. Fergal O'Brien had the first and second in that last year. But it's just hard to compare the English and Irish form. So I want to see him in better company before I go, yeah, he's a true Grade 1 contender for March. Clearly, he's got a big engine. He's a hefty price tag. So I'd say they were relieved he did that on Friday. So yeah, good performance. Jumped well overall. We'll definitely find out a lot more if he shows up in the Shallow in January.
I'd say he's a lot sharper than the likes of Brave Man's Game, Hermes Allen, Captain T, who all went that route for Paul Nichols. I'd say this fella isn't short of it now. And if we saw him come March ending up in a Supreme Novices hurdle, it actually wouldn't surprise me. But would you have thought the same?
Yeah, I'd say so. He's definitely more pace. They were big stairs. He showed a lot. He showed a much better turn of foot than either of his previous winners of that race. So yeah, definitely. And look, he's definitely one to look forward to. They have the syndicate there with Alex Ferguson, Jed Mason, and the rest. They've invested a lot of money in horses. Obviously, Caldwell Potter won his novice chase as well on Sunday. So they're getting their rewards, and if they can get a Cheltenham winner, it'll be great for them.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we're going to talk all things champion hurdle and tracker horses after this quick ad break.
Gowran Park Racecourse, the premier racetrack in the southeast of Ireland, is located on the outskirts of Kilkenny City. Gowran Park is your #1 choice for corporate days out, stag and hen party events, and an overall great local racing experience. Known as the race that stops the county, the famous Goffs Thyestes Chase 2025 takes place on Thursday the 23rd of January. With packed crowds expected once again this January, you can book your early bird tickets online today. Visit gowranpark.ie online, click the link in the Champ.ie podcast video description, or scan the QR code on screen to purchase right now. Eddie and the team look forward to welcoming you to Gowran Park this winter.
150 yards to go, Glengooley, and ain't that a shame from Angel's Dawn? Ain't that a shame is going on to win the Goffs Thyestes, pulling out every stop from Glengooley.
Boylesports. Don't just bet, choose wisely.
Yes, and of course, don't forget the big day in the southeast, the 23rd of January. Put it in the calendar. It's a day every single year. The Thyestes Chase, of course, proudly sponsored by Goffs. And at Gowran Park, it's I suppose, the biggest standalone midweek fixture in Ireland in the National Hunt season. So fantastic day. Make sure to book your tickets online on gowranpark.ie. Brian, tracker horse, what have you got for us this week?
I thought A Dream to Share is one to take note of. Very messy maiden hurdle, big field. He didn't come off the ground for the first 5 hurdles, I'm going to say. Jumped very, very poorly. Hadn't much daylight. Got absolutely taken out of it just down to the second last. The loose horse interfered with Paul, which caused a bit of a domino effect for the horses behind him. And I think he'll come out of that race a lot sharper. I think Simon, he didn't really get a belt from the back to the last. He's only beaten 2 lengths. And I think if he was to take on those rivals again with a clear round of jumping, he would win. I probably could see him showing up in the 2 mile in Leopardstown on Stephen's Day. And I think we'll see a lot sharper horse. I think he's worth taking note of. Very high class bumper horse. And, he wasn't bred to be a jumper, and I think that showed. He didn't have a lot of scope, and maybe they didn't get as much schooling on grass as they would have liked with the weather. So I just think he's worth noting for the next day. I think he will see a lot sharper horse, and he's kind of coming into that bracket a bit forgotten about because he missed last season really as such, and he was a very impressive winner of that champion bumper. He's beaten Factifile, who was the favourite for the Gold Cup, twice. So I think people are just starting to forget about him a little bit, and he could come in under the radar around Christmas time and hopefully turn into a supreme horse again.
That's interesting, Brian. Certainly, yeah, a horse with immense talent. I'm going to go to the first race at Newbury on Saturday, which was the listed mares race, and Jubilee Alpha for Paul Nicholls. I thought ran a very, very eye-catching race and didn't look the most straightforward individual. Look, she was kind of midfield. Harry Cobden did his best to settle her early. She was quite keen. She looked to be, poised to challenge coming to the second last at Newbury. And that's a race every single season that seems to throw up a smart mare. Lucia won it back in 2022, and she obviously went on to place in the champion hurdle. So I think this could be smart. Jubilee Alpha. She'd 6 lengths, Brian, to make up off the back of the last after walking through the last 2 hurdles, and she came rattling home. She really caught the eye. I'd say she's an engine. 5-year-old daughter of Fleming's for Jubilee Alpha. Done a lot wrong, but I reckon there's a lot more to come from her. So she goes into the tracker. And look, we've discussed a lot of these already today. Lossiemouth 7-4. Stake ban 4-1. Sir Gino 4-1. We have, of course, Constitution Hill priced up at 9-2. Brighter Days Ahead 12-1. And we do have to mention Anzadam as well, because he's a massive price, 33-1. He could be a real improver. What do you think?
Sure, it's great to see. It's as competitive because like last year it wasn't, when Constitution Hill pulled out, it was statement was basically certainly Irish point ran well, but it's great to see. It's reminding me again of back in Hurricane Fly's year where there's 4 or 5 in with a real chance. No one knows it's going to show up. Like Willie's not going to tell anyone where Lossiemouth's going to go, and probably till the Sunday morning for Cheltenham. Brighter Days Ahead is probably she threw herself into the mix, obviously beating Stateman last week. Can I see her beating Stateman at Christmas if they meet again? No. I think she had race fitness on her side, and Stateman will improve probably a little bit more from the race. So look, it's hard to kind of get real in depth about it because no one really seems to know what's going where or what's going to run. Constitution Hill, I wasn't impressed with his work in Newbury. He looked to be a little bit laboured, and I'm just waiting for him to get out on the track now and do it before I make any more comments about it. I was raving about I thought Nicky would get him back in one piece, especially with the new outdoor paddock he has, but there just seems to be so many things going wrong with him. If Lossiemouth shows up in March, I think she wins. Getting £7, she's classy. That performance just blew me away over the weekend, and I think if she gets there getting £7, Paul is very loyal to Joe Donnelly and Stateman, he's a soft spot for him. I can't see him not riding Lossiemouth if she goes for a champion hurdle.
I'd be completely in agreement, and I don't think he has to make that decision, Brian, until March. I don't think these are going to clash. No. It's interesting that the two of them obviously were declared for the Marquee.
Yeah, I'd say he just did that for fear of something. If something happened, Stateman. I remember listening to Ruby that when Fahim won the Irish champion hurdle in Leopardstown, he took him. They really threw them all into it. I think Arctic Fire, Nicholas Canyon, and it broke Fahim. He ended up being out for 18 months after that. Yeah. So I don't think we'll ever see him with these big major clashes until March again. I think he learned after that it's just you can ruin a horse's end of the rest of the season. So they'll be kept apart. I can see her going to Kempton, maybe the same route as Annie Power did. And
if I was Willie Mullins' race planner now, and obviously there's a lot of different owners, I would say Lossiemouth probably go to Kempton. The nicer ground will suit her. I would say Stateman will go his usual route to Leopardstown, and I wouldn't be surprised. Look, Cargeese, we have to mention her. Obviously, I don't think she's a champion hurdle contender, but I wouldn't be surprised if Danny was aboard Cargeese at Christmas at Leopardstown, perhaps, or at the Dublin Racing Festival. I wonder could that be the number 2 this side of the water, and Alzadam, could that go to the same route as Lossiemouth did last season to the International? So look, we could be very, very wrong, but no matter what happens, Brian, Lossiemouth will win the champion hurdle, and at 7-4. Look, we might save a little bit of a price boost for later on in the show, but yeah, I just think she's going to take some whacking now, getting the £7. That would be my play, Brian. When we come back from this quick little break, and in actual fact, we're going to hear from ejmenswear.com just very quickly on the competition that you can still enter, of course, for a chance to win VIP tickets to the races over Christmas and a tailored bundle of your choice. Let's hear from EJ. And when we come back, we're going to discuss one or two little questions from viewers. And also, we're going to put up our selections for week number 4.
How are things? EJ here. We got an unbelievable competition tonight, okay? EJ Menswear and ejmenswear.com are teaming up with Champ.ie, Ireland's premier racing podcast. Any racing fans that likes to have a little bet every now and again or follow the horses, Champ.ie are helping us to launch our fantastic tailor bundle that's back on track again. Everything for $2.99. Blazer, shirt, chinos, shoes, socks, the whole lot. In fact, we have the two boys here themselves, Barry and David. Look at these two boys from Champ.ie, looking good in their tailored bundle from EJ Menswear. They came all the way from Tipperary to get togged out for our tailored bundle. Good news travels fast, okay? So EJ Menswear, ejmenswear.com, check it out. All about your tailored bundle. You got your blazer, you got your shirt, you got your chinos, you got your shoes. The boys are going happy, fully togged out, home happy. So our competition tonight, okay, we're going to give away 2 VIP tickets to a major horse racing event over Christmas, compliments of Champ.ie and a tailor bundle for some lucky winner. I'm just going to ask you a simple question. Derek Fox has won the Grand National how many times? Once, twice or 3 times? How many times has Derek Fox, the local legend of a jockey, won? And someone's going to win a fantastic tailor bundle of their choice. Check it out, all there, and more lines being added over the next few days. Your blazer, your shirt, your chinos, your shoes, and someone's going to win full outfit of their choice and a trip to one of the premier racing events over the Christmas. Don't forget, check out champ.ie, check it out on YouTube, and get all you want to know about horse racing. The boys will look after you.
Yeah, and Mr. Coops as well. We will have to get on to EJ because I think he was interesting in having the Cheltenham Festival winning, Cheltenham Gold Cup winning jockey down in store, maybe to get you out for a nice winter bundle, which are now available in stock as well. But we'll have to get on to EJ once again, maybe just in time for Christmas. Sligo, obviously, EJ Menswear and ejmenswear.com. A fantastic store for all your menswear requirements over the Winter Jumps campaign. Right, couple of questions, Brian, before we do, of course, come on to our week 4 selections. And Harp's a good follower of the show over on Twitter. What about Sergino? We didn't kind of mention him in the champion hurdle market. I know it's not a very Nicky Henderson thing to do, but do you think he, with Joe Donnelly's, I suppose, strength and depth in this division, did they just send them chasing now?
I'd say they'll have to. It's still early in the season. I can't see them having the 3 of them lining up in it, that's for sure. They'll play they'll leave all their options open, but I'd be shocked. Like, I just gone back to, we spoke about it earlier on, like Nicky said, this horse is absolutely electric over fences. And he's had some great 2-milers. He said that himself, but he said this lad, he said, was absolutely electric. I'd say Nicky is pushing to go chasing, and especially after what happened the weekend with Anzadam throwing himself into the mix, that gives him another, he's two bullets to fire. He doesn't need 3. Like, I think Sergino will take, so imagine him and Ballyburn taking each other on the Arkansas. That would be a race to me. And I think I'd like to see it happen. So I'm hoping he sends him chasing. I can't see him winning a champion hurdle, so I don't see why they shouldn't.
Yeah, he won't win a champion hurdle, Brian, not with the competition that's there. Anyway, just put him in for the champion hurdle down below. I do apologise, I just can't see it. He ain't going to beat Lossiemouth getting £7. And yeah, best opportunity, I think, for Sergino to win at the Cheltenham Festival. Nicky, if you're listening, send him chasing. Champion bumper form looks average for the novices. I'll just hold fire on that at the moment, Patrick. Obviously, Romeo Coolio has let the form down a little bit, but we haven't seen Yasmin DeVoe. We haven't seen Jalan Dadari, who, Brian, I know you like. What's the one horse you think is a handicapper to watch out for after this weekend? I'm going to go back, Brian, just quickly. A couple of weekends ago, the Navan Racing Festival, the one that really jumped out to me, and Waterford Whispers snuck under the radar for a long time for the Martin Pipe. I'm going to mention a horse that if we don't see the best of him in graded company the first half of the season, he's already had 1 run over herds, a bumper winner from Naas last season, 40 coats. I think has a very interesting profile now, given the fact that he was second at Navan to Wingman. Could we see him running graded company over the next couple of starts? And maybe if he doesn't totally fire, could it be something to keep an eye on for something like a Martin Pipe, given connections and owners?
definitely. Yeah, they love a handicap plot. So I'd say they'll throw him into all those type of races and see where he ends up and see what the handicapper does with him. Definitely, I wouldn't rule it out. I thought one that maybe just out over the weekend was Sea of Sands. He was second or third in the Royal Bond, didn't jump well. And again, for the Condition Riders race in March, I'd say Willie will run this horse and all the big grade ones, get experience into him. Probably he's not good enough to win one, but has a big engine and he'll get plenty of experience. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's thrown in there off a lovely mark come March in that Condition Riders race. And he's just one that caught my eye. You know, Willie loves plotting that race with a horse with big engines. This horse has a big engine because he did everything wrong and still ran on very well. Had a good look at the wing at the last. So I just thought he could be one to keep an eye on for maybe further down the road come March and April.
Interesting. Thanks very much for your questions, Harp and Patrick Hickey. That was questions over on Twitter. Make sure to get them in each and every week and we'll do our best to answer questions going forward, looking towards the Cheltenham Festival. Right, Brian, it's time for week 4 selections. What have you got? What's your 4th selection on the series?
Horse I'm going to throw up is Hello Neighbour for the Triumph Hurdle. Gavin Cromwell has him. He was purchased by the same owner as Bottler's Secret after he won his maiden in Navan. He's a half brother to Wave at Sea, so he's by Harzan, so he's bred to be a jumper really as such. He's got a rating of 97, which is a fair rating to go jumping with. I've seen the horse, big scopy horse, and after seeing Joseph's horse win on Saturday, especially after I put him up last week for Fred Winter, and I think that's already gone out the window now, but he's only rated, you know, in the mid 80s, and this lad's rated 97. So if Willie the Huey was Willie's best juvenile and he got turned over the weekend, I think this horse could go all the way. Rated 97, we've yet to see him. I think he'll come out in Leopardstown over Christmas for that juvenile, and from what I hear, schooling's been going very well, so I think he's one to take note of, and I think he'll be a lot shorter come March if things go his way.
16-1 for the Triumph Hurdle, Brian, and you know what you're talking about because our Connor went all the way and you were on his back. So yeah, interesting. 16-1. You can avail of it over on the Boylesports website, Champ.ie. Price boosts on the racing section of the website, and you can avail of that right up until 5:30 tomorrow afternoon as we're recording. So yeah, interesting selection, Brian, and I wish you all the best with that particular selection. I've 2 selections to put in. I'm going to play the team captain this week, Brian, and look, let's get it out of the way nice and quickly. Lossiemouth, we have we've talked her up. I'm going to say it again. I don't think getting the £7, if everything goes to plan, I see her run once between now and the Cheltenham Festival. I would be surprised if we see her twice. I don't think Paul will have to make the decision until very, very late. I think he rides Lossiemouth. I think she'll be short at 9-4. And with a bit of luck, I think she's going to take a lot of whacking in that division, Constitution Hill or no Constitution Hill. So 9-4 and hands down from 7-4. Team captain, 2 points. You know the rules. And yeah, I'm going to get her in nice and early in the season. She captained the team, Brian, a couple of seasons ago. So let's hope we have a bit of luck again with Lossiemouth. And the other one I'm going to mention is for the Mayor's Chase. And JP McManus has won this race the last 3 seasons, birdie or bust. She went in as a tracker horse a couple of weeks ago after Navan. I just think it was a beginner's chase by name only. You know, the quality of horses that she ran against. She finished 4th. Obviously, Nürburgring, the Galway hurdle winner, was in the race. King of Kingsfield placed in a grade 1 last season over hurdles. And the winner of the race, I think, is Smart down memory lane. Birdie or bust, nursed into the race by Darragh O'Keefe. They hold this mare in high regard. And look, why wouldn't they, Brian? She ran an absolute cracker, of course, to split Brighter Days Ahead and Jade de Grugy in the Mayor's Hurdle novice hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival. So she has that course form. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think, looking at the roll of honour for the Mayor's Chase, the likes of Colreevy and Pervious, Limerick Lace, none of those mares actually had as high a hurdle rating going chasing as this mare. I just think she could be one. She'll have no bother winning a beginner's chase, and under the radar, I think she could really step up. 25-1. I just thought it was massive. I just thought it was too big, Brian. What do you think of her?
Yeah, I suppose my only little worry is the trip. She's a strong traveller. They seem to take her time a bit with her. She travelled really well into the race in Cheltenham and again last week. So She's probably going to be a better chaser than hurdler, but I just have a question mark over the 2 mile 4 trip on the new course in Cheltenham for. I'd say if she wins, like Henry's a fantastic record with these mares, obviously put the kettle on, won a champion chase. If she bolts up in the beginner's chase, I can see him training her for an Arkle maybe, but good shout at that price, you have to take it. She's definitely a mare. She was an expensive store, so by walking the park, she's got a big engine and fences could bring out even a bit more in her.
Spillane Tower, of course, was fourth in that beginners last year. He went on to win 2 Grade 1s and was narrowly denied by Factifoil. So that is a very, very hot race. And I just think 25-1. We'll roll the dice, Brian. We'll have a go. And I think it's too big. So there we go. That's been episode number 4. Enjoyed the crack, Brian. And any plans for the week? Any horses maybe to keep an eye on over the next...
I'm going to Kerry there now in about 10 minutes. So I have to head down the road. There's a couple of horses there at home school in the morning. Dad's busy. He's a horse I think might go to Navan on Saturday. Icardabel. He won a bumper in Naas 2 seasons ago. Plagued with injury, has a massive engine. Looking forward to getting him back out. He's turning 6 now. He missed most of last year again, so he's got a big engine. He's actually a half brother to French Seal, and that good horse that Willie Mullins purchased a while back belongs to the Donnellys. So looking forward to getting him out, and looking forward to coming down to see Amen Kate as well. She's back in from a little break. She'll go to Leopardstown for the mayor's bumper there. So we're looking forward to getting her out again.
She looks smart.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a more impressive bumper winner so far this year. So we're lucky to have her. She's by Flemingford. Dad's had a lot of luck with that sire. So she's second or third favourite for the champion bumper there at the minute. But she'll go to Leopardstown in February. And we'll make for the grade 2, the Mrs. Mullins hurdle or bumper, I think, is it? And we'll make a plan then from there.
I wonder, will Bryan Cooper, Mr. Coops, be putting up a men K for the champion bumper later on in this series? We'll have to wait and see. That's been episode number 4. Make sure to get your selections down below. Give the video a like, thumbs up. And make sure to put in your big questions for next week. And we look forward to chatting to you next Monday.
From Dundalk to Longchamp, from the Galway races to the Breeders' Cup, Shamrock Thoroughbreds have taken owners all over the world.
Tiger Bell in front, holds them. Late on the scene is Dawn Charger storming home, but Tiger Bell in front and won.
Coming through in the centre, Laugh a Minute with a strong challenge on this Laugh a Minute, who goes on in the closing stages to win by a length and a half. Laugh a Minute from Fiscal Roots.
But it's Harry's Bar repelling the late challenge of the stable companion Dream Today, and Harry's Bar makes it 6 course wins.
Check out shamrockthoroughbreds.com or click the link in the Champ.ie podcast video description to learn more about new racehorse ownership opportunities.